What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope you guys are doing well out there on this beautiful Tuesday evening. Doing pretty good myself. Well, as you can see here, it says crack is back. Yeah, that's right. They're talking about this Colombian crack that's basically infiltrating the USA now. I don't think the drug task force is applying themselves properly. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning, if they're not stopping this stuff from crossing the border, well, more than likely, they're involved in it. Okay? Now, I have my reasons and personal suspicions as to why I believe crack is back. You know, with the past, highest influx of fentanyl use and the deaths that occurred behind using fentanyl, we know what races that it mostly affected. And we also know what race that crack mostly affected back in the so-called crack era, which was somewhere around the mid to late 80s. Somewhere around there. Okay? Yeah. Well, early to mid 80s. Yeah. Let's just leave it like that. So I think that basically it was one of those conspiracies to bring crack back because somebody's mad because, well, their son is on crack. You know, the leader of this country, as a matter of fact. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Biden's, Hunter Biden, all of them. You know, matter of fact, he even did a video of him with crack. All right? And then all of a sudden you had the government spending like $30 million to get, clean pipes, safe pipes. You understand what I'm saying? Putting them in vending machines to make sure don't nobody get affected by diseases or whatever. Well, as a result of that, now we have a resurgence of crack in New York and Atlanta. Okay? So without further ado, let's check these couple videos out, and then we'll finish up the commentary.
Reporting out of New York City suggests a dangerous drug is making a comeback. Crack sparked a crime wave in America's largest cities in the 80s and 90s and decimated communities across the country, with many Black and brown communities hit the hardest. Correspondent Evan Lambert is live for us. So Evan, what do we know about this?
Nicole, this is pretty surprising because we've heard so much about newer drugs like fentanyl and tranq recently, but the Drug Enforcement Administration's top official in New York telling the New York Post, quote, "We're seeing a resurgence of crack," and also noting that demand is up for powder cocaine as well. This reporting is especially alarming given the crack crisis in the 1980s and 90s. It came along with a giant surge in violent crime. It also led to a toughening of drug laws that treated crack cocaine differently than its powdered form. That drove unequal treatment of drug users based largely on race, according to the Justice Department, with an explosion in the Black and Latino incarceration rates. Now, regardless of form, the UN's most recent global drug report shows the global supply of cocaine is at record levels, rising sharply in 2021. It mirrors a surge in law enforcement cocaine seizures. According to the CDC, more than 53,000 Americans died of an overdose involving cocaine and other psychostimulants in 2021. That's a 32% increase from 2020. Now, a surge in crack use may not be a national trend. Data from the U.S. Sentencing Commission points to a several-year decrease in crack cocaine trafficking offenders. Nicole?
All right, Evan, thank you for that. Thank you for watching.
New at 10 tonight, a big drug bust in Fayette County. The sheriff says they're seeing a resurgence of crack cocaine.
As Fox 5's Doug Evans reports, the sheriff says they've never seen drug prices this low and drug arrests this high.
Fayette County deputies say traffic stops like this one are more commonplace than ever, with large amounts of illegal drugs being seized. One reason for the prevalence is cost.
The price of drugs has dropped drastically, so it's supply and demand, and it's some of the lowest prices we've ever seen for drugs right now.
Fayette deputies say they clocked this Mercedes-Benz traveling 87 miles an hour in a 50-mile-an-hour zone on April 21st. They say the driver had slowed down rapidly from the mid-90s before the radar locked on the car. The deputy said he could smell marijuana coming from the car, and driver Javier Mendoza Corral refused to allow them to search the car. They did search it, though, and turned up a large stash of drugs, including meth, cocaine, crack cocaine, and marijuana, as well as a loaded handgun and weight scales.
Oh my God. Cocaine, I assume? Crack, I assume?
Fayette County Sheriff Barry Babb says that felony drug arrests by his department have increased 136% in the last year, from 30 in 2022 to 71 so far this year.
Open borders. I mean, it's pouring in. We see it out here a lot more on the street than we did.
Javier Mendoza Corral, who deputies say is 18 years old, from Riverdale, is facing numerous felony drug charges. The sheriff says crack cocaine is apparently making a comeback. We're told that Javier Mendoza Corral remains locked up in the Fayette County Jail. I'm Doug Evans, Fox 5 News in Fayette County.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's no coincidence that crack is back, okay? Because basically what it is, they want to target the people. As you've heard in the videos, black and brown. But here's the deal. You are not rats. You do not have a weakness for cheese in a trap, if you understand what I'm saying. Nobody's twisting your arm to go and mess with this stuff. You understand? And therefore, if you don't use it, so therefore they cannot harm you, they cannot take you down. But if you go and use this stuff, then they got you. That's basically what this all boils down to, okay? Just like it did back in the 80s and the 90s. Had it not been for people falling victim to this drug right here by going and using it, it never could have affected us as a people in the first place. Here we are again. Now, like I'm saying is this, more than likely, man, this was a plot from the start simply because Hunter Biden is a crackhead. You understand? That's just what it is. Joe Biden don't like that because way back, what was it, in the 80s, I think it was, when he came about talking about if you get caught using, automatic 5 years and this and that. The judge has no other choice. But the irony is his son is using now. All right? That's just what it is. See? So I'm not surprised with this so-called crack is back. So my thing is this. People, stay vigilant. You understand? Because the devil walketh among you, seeing who he may devour. Okay? And here it is. Here's the devil's seed. That's all I got on this with people. I'd like to know your comments, your thoughts on this particular video right here in the comment section. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we're being watched, simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.